Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Crazy Critique. The cinema release film I'm reviewing this week is the Wachowskis' new film, Jupiter Ascending. So let's start with the few little bits of information that is probably nice to know before going in. It's quite interesting to know that obviously this is an original sci-fi film, so obviously not related to any previous media or comic books, or it's not a sequel, so on and so forth. And it's also a female-led blockbuster, which is an interesting point also, and so it's good for these things. These sort of things are getting a big budget. Let's actually go into the female lead in question, Mila Kunis, who is a Russian American who leads a what will be described as an unassuming life, quite boring, quite monotonous. Goes to work, hates her job, goes home. I hate my life sort of attitude. But as we go through the film, it becomes apparent, obviously, that her life is more than what it seems, and her life has more meaning. The way that is brought to fruition is by meeting Channing Tatum's half-human, half-wolf hybrid. Yep, you heard that right. And his particular mode of transportation and getting about the world is by hover skates, which is interesting way of getting around, it's fair to say. I've not seen that quite before. Yeah, it's entertaining. And it's effectively about, apparently, that she is actual royalty. I'm not going to spoil anything here because you learn that pretty quickly in the film. And that she's actually the rightful owner of Earth. You think, why would somebody own Earth? Well, apparently, there's lots of people out there who do own worlds. And these worlds are actually, the large majority of them, out in the outer space, are owned by three best-selling siblings, played by a couple of actors. I can't remember all the names now, but I think one of them was Tuppence Middleton is the female, the sister of the siblings, and the most famous and the one that sticks in your mind most is Eddie Redmayne, who sort of I've heard one person describe his performance in this film as saying they'd like to see the film they thought he was making. He's very Flash Gordon-esque villain, if you will. So he's Ming the Merciless in a way, and very, oh no, what am I doing? I can't do any sort of, I can't. What was the point of that? That was a stupid thing to do. They're trying to do an impression of him when nobody may have seen it or not. Sorry about that. But yes, I expected them doing battle over her, trying to win her over so they can claim Earth. And it's Channing Tatum is sort of like trying to save her from all these things happening. So let's go into the parts of this film. What I think of it. This gasp of breath from the brief moment will probably not be a good sign, really, for anybody watching. And it's unfortunate that when an original sci-fi film has been made on a big budget and somebody's been given a canvas of this large scale, that it has resulted in this film. It's a shame because there's so much going for it. I love the Wachowskis' visual flair and style. It's without doubt they have an interesting, like I say, interesting flair, interesting style of design, set design and costumes and effects. All that again here is fabulous. It's fabulous work on the costume sets, special effects. But once again, it comes down to writing, unfortunately, and they have written this film. They've written and directed this film. What they need is someone to write their bloody scripts for them, I swear. Because some of the dialogue in this film is atrocious. It is atrocious. Some of it's trying to be serious, when it's just laughably hilarious. And some of it, during those serious moments, was still then trying to be a bit funny, when seconds later they're being serious about the same thing. So it just doesn't balance out right at all. So the script writing is just bad. It is just bad. The dialogue is just, it's painful to listen to. I don't want to make this seem like I'm going overboard, but it's been a long time since I've watched a film where the dialogue has just been so bad. It's been so bad. I'll go into the characters. Channing Tatum, well, I'll start with Mila Kunis, since she's supposed to be, and I say supposed to be, the lead in this intergalactic big budget sci-fi. she's an intergalactic princess, and that is pretty much what she is. She is there for Channing Tatum to rescue her every 20 minutes. She'll go and do something, get into trouble. Channing Tatum comes in, saves her. She sort of goes away from Channing Tatum again at some point. Here's a bit more trouble. He comes in on his hover skates and saves her again. So it's effectively Mila Kunis gets captured. Channing Tatum comes in on his hover skates, saves her. Captured, skates, saves her. Capture, skates, saves her. That's the way this film goes. So it's a very, very disappointing in terms of that aspect of the female-led film, because I want to see, being a massive, and particularly with sci-fi, we've seen this before. Some might say, well, we've seen it done really well. Why do we need to see it again? Well, we need to see it again because it's you want to break out of those modes. You want to break out of the traditional all-led male heroic action star. I want some female action stars. We had them in Terminator. James Cameron was the most brilliant at this. In like Terminator and Aliens, he just got it right. He got it right. So yeah, disappointing in terms of the female-led role. Channing Tatum, he's all right. He's all right in the film. To be fair, it's unfortunate that Mila Kunis has been given nothing to do whatsoever, because she's decent. Mila Kunis, she's a good actress. She's not an amazing actress. She's a decent actress. But she's just given nothing to do whatsoever. And Channing Tatum does what he can with the role that he's given. So God bless him, but it's not for lack of trying. But yeah, so, and Sean Bean's in this film as an associate of Channing Tatum, who's also in this film he's a half-bred human, half-bred bee. So I won't go into more than that. Some of the dialogue some of his dialogue is just, oh my god, what's going on there? What went through their minds doing this film? So yeah, yeah. What else can I say really? Eddie Mayman is overboard. Sean Bean, Sean Bean has a good film by his standards. Won't go into why that is, but he has a good film by his standards. Great visual flair again, and style and sets and production design by the Wachowskis. No one can fault them, but they need to get someone to write their bloody scripts for them, because they can't write for a swear word. I will not swear, because I would like this to go out to children and other people beyond the world. So yeah, they need to write someone to write their flipping scripts, because they cannot write for whatever. Yeah, so it's in a sense it's quite disappointing. It's probably worth seeing for how bad some of it is, and how good some of it is. Like I say, the visual flair and that. But that's not surprising given the Wachowski's history in The Matrix and Cloud Atlas and V for Vendetta. They've got that sort of stuff right before. But yeah, I'll end it there because I can't really go any further than dissing it that much. So yeah, Jupiter Ascending. My classic film of the week this week is the 1982 German film Fitzcarraldo, which is written and directed by Werner Herzog. Talking previously about their Jupiter Ascending, about a film that is written and directed by the same people or person. This film is the complete opposite. The antithesis, is that the word, of Jupiter Ascending, in that it is beautifully directed and beautifully written. The characters are fantastic. It features Herzog's regular collaborator Klaus Kinski, who stars as an opera-loving Irishman living in a small Peruvian city, who can't seem to find the funds to build an opera house in said city where he lives. So he makes the bold journey into the Peruvian wilderness on a steamship up a river with crew up the rivers of Peru to claim land previously unreachable and unclaimed that contain valuable rubber trees, and therefore funding his dream to bring the opera to the jungle. Now that's a synopsis of a film. You think, whoa, I've not seen this before at all. And you have never seen anything quite like this before. It's a film big on dreams. It's all about a man and his dreams. And it's just so wonderful. It's a wonderful film. What should I go into? I'll go into the reason why I think this is such an outstanding film. It's 2.5 hours long, by the way, and many people will be put off by a 2.5 hour subtitled film, but it is available in English because they filmed the film in English because it was the most common language to the most of the cast available. But obviously they dubbed it over at the end in German. But you can watch it in English, and it's actually it's a very decent dub actually, because obviously it's been filmed in English. So I'd watch it. It's a film that just, like I said, I've just said previously, it's all about dreams and hope and love of something, and there's nothing you can have for that but admiration. And there's the famous scene, and the most famous scene. The reason why this land has previously been unclaimed and unreachable is there's two rivers. The river that is on this area, the other side on this river is that it's the town that river connects it to is actually it flows into the city, and there's a waterfall there, so they obviously cannot get up that. So they go up the other river. And the reason why people have never really managed to get up this river before is there's a lot of natives there who have killed passers-by on ships and boats, and that has put people off before trying to get over there. They managed to somehow find a way to, well, what shall I say, bypass and get by these natives. But then what happens obviously is that the other river does not connect to this river they need to get to. So what happens? They decide there's a point where in the land it is so thin it almost connects, but there is land obviously in between it. So he decides, what shall I do? I will levy my boat over this hill into the other river. This is, by the way, this is a steamship. This is no small boat. This is no small boat. This is a steamship that is going to be having to perform duties about transporting all these rubber trees to production. So, and when you get down to that point of seeing, there's no special effects in this film. Everything you see on screen is as it was done on set, and it is just one of the most outstanding feats of cinema achievements I've ever seen. It is just a phenomenal sight to behold. It is fantastic. It is, you are just left, the way opera is used in this film is fantastic. The score there's some sort of like kind of synthy Germany poppy sort of score at moments, but it works perfectly. You'd never think it would work right at all, but it's fantastic. Yeah, it's just, I'm just, okay, I'm bloody going overboard now with my praise for it. It's just a fabulous feat of cinema, and it is, without a doubt, the epitome of a must-see film. Like I said, you've not seen anything like this before. You have never seen anything like this before, and nothing has ever been, even no one's attempted to do something like it since, because it was such a troubled production, and the trouble he went through. We all know about Klaus Kinski. If you know about Herzog's relationship with Klaus Kinski, you know how much of a troubled actor and director strained relationship that is alone, and to add this feat of unpractical achievements they should be, but he makes them practical, is just astonishing to witness. So yeah, Fitzcarraldo, watch this film. It is just outstanding. It's 2.5 hours of awe-inspiring cinema. Yeah, and there we go. So, 2 films, big in ideas and dreams. 1, not so clever at all, in Jupiter Ascending, and 1 just phenomenally outstanding in Fitzcarraldo. I thank you again for watching if you have, and I hope to see you again next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.